Um, Welcome to a brand new episode of Formula Pod. And we are talking today all about the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Again, I don't know. I'm still in that, what do you call,
Summer vacation
no,
mode.
not even summer vacation mode. You have got those Windows computers which have got that blue color thing that rounds,
Loading.
no? That loading. My head and the system inside is literally in that state.
Nice.
I'm like, what's even going on?
Yeah, even the race, it sort of, it sort of, what do you say, portrayed that same feeling. What was going on?
Oh,
I couldn't
absolutely.
believe it.
No, in fact, it reached a point where George Russell was like, what he just ended up saying in an interview with Sky News, what the heck is going on with Formula One?
I saw that. That was so fun.
But yeah, welcome to another episode. And yeah, today it's the three constructors. The fourth one didn't manage to make it because he was stuck on the roads. So it's just myself, Vishruti, and Nathan. And for Nathan, of course, it is a bonanza day. Trust me.
He's in red,
Oh,
guys. He's in red.
Again, me and Nathan ended up watching the race together, and like even though we were like, okay, with the one thing going to this AMG coffee house or at the Mercedes-Benz Brand Center is that you have to spend a minimum of 50 dirhams in order to watch the race and stuff.
God.
Okay.
Every week?
Again, we're not doing this every week. We at the best only do it 24 times a week.
God.
But again, in that one, we're not going to do it every single week. So
Oh, that's
next
true.
week, it's not a race, so it's okay. And the week after that, we kind of plan going to the Ferrari version of it. We'll try.
let's see.
Interesting.
Let's see.
Let's see. We'll try. But seriously, Nathan was on his toes when he was watching. He's like, "What the hell are these guys doing?" Like, it reached a point. Nathan was either Nathan is going to have like a stroke, or
A
Nathan.
stroke. What?
Sorry, not stroke, not
I
stroke.
was going to
He
have a
would
stroke.
no, either he was going to have an anxiety attack straight
Yeah,
up,
that makes. Yeah,
okay, or he's just going to be like in utter disappointment.
I was ready for anything, and with Ferrari, you have to expect anything,
Oh,
literally.
yeah, that's true.
Brace for impact.
The last two races have taught us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, with Charles Leclerc was the man the guy who got the crown jewel this time made it to the win in Monza, the home of Ferrari, and
Il
he
predestinato vince. Il predestinato vince. That's what it is. Charles Leclerc. Signore. Oh my God.
You want to jump in Ferrari?
Literally.
I don't think I can but you want to jump in Ferrari?
There's so much of emotion and passion when it comes to Ferrari, isn't it? Like when we saw
Yeah.
the podium celebrations as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
beautiful.
that's the best part
And
of any Italian Grand Prix. It's the podium celebrations afterwards.
Exactly.
no, but
It's
Especially
even
literally,
better when
if there's
Ferrari
a
wins.
if there's a Ferrari on top, that's it. They're gonna go on for days. Did you see this one of the post where they showed like the different papers that came out the next day? Like
Brilliant.
yeah.
in Italy, in
Again,
Monaco, they
I
were
have never seen
all
that for
over.
any other driver. To be very honest,
Exactly.
and
Charles was just big face.
no,
That's
and
why.
I'm just thinking, if for example Lewis ends up winning with a Ferrari in the
Oh
Italian Grand
man,
Prix, it is
Oh,
going to go wild.
that's the dream.
absolutely.
That's the dream.
No, but I don't know if you guys have actually realized. Have you guys seen that picture where Fred, Charles, and Lewis this time are what do you call photoshopped into saints?
Yeah, I've seen that. Wait, that was not this year. That was
That
in
was this year. That was
that was
this
in
year.
Imola, right?
No, it was in Monza.
Huh. Because I saw Charles and Lewis talking about it
Yeah,
in the press
because
conference.
yeah, but then like again, I found it a bit funny. I'm like, okay, Carlos is like, okay, I'm still there in the team, guys. It's just like 8 more races, but still, cut me some slack.
Oh man.
Poor guy's going to Williams as well. Yeah, we should cut him some slack.
But again,
Man.
Oh no.
we'll come to Williams in a moment because again, I'm trying not to steal the thunder from the Ferrari. I just want to kind of understand over here. For some reason, Charles managed to pull off that one stop and got the advantage. But at the same time, Carlos couldn't do that.
Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? Clearly, these upgrades have you we don't know really, to be honest. I mean, it's just one race that they've introduced these upgrades to,
Yeah.
and Monza is a track where it's high speed, straight lines, a lot of slow speed corners, and a lot of the drivers faced a lot of problems with the left front, and McLaren faced that issue, Mercedes faced that
Oh, that's
issue, and
true.
that's
Yeah.
why a lot of those drivers had to stop two times. Somehow Ferrari managed to keep the tires, which could be a good thing. You never know, the upgrades could be working, and but we'll only get to know in Baku or maybe in like the future races. But Sainz being like 10 seconds or 11 seconds ahead of sorry, Charles being 10 seconds, 11 seconds ahead of Sainz is it's not concerning, but at the same time it kind of shows how good Charles is when he comes to managing his pace and managing his tires.
Hmm.
Maybe he's the real tire whisperer. George, sorry about that.
George, you're stepping down, man.
Um, yeah, but
Again,
uh,
he has had his time. George has
yeah,
had his time.
George has his time, and right now Charles has got it, and he clearly had the tires, and that was the only way that Ferrari won. I mean, think about it. I mean, they weren't the outright fastest car that weekend. McLaren were, based on qualifying pace and even the race pace. It
Hmm.
was the only way that Ferrari won that race was through tire management. And this is literally the first time I'm saying this, because last year we have had problems with tire management throughout the whole season, and we
Hmm.
could only put in good qualifyings, and our races were horrible because our tires just went off a cliff. But this year, for some reason, we have a good race car, and I know it's come at a late stage of this championship, but if we are winning Monaco and Monza every year, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Charles had a beautiful. I never expected that time management. My God, you could hear Oscar also saying right in the end, like in the cool down room, I did not expect that. Like I genuinely thought like all I could think about was when it went into the last lap. I was like, make it, just please make it. I beg you, do not go off in the last corner. I will cry. And this coming from someone who's a McLaren fan with McLaren's following Charles behind. I needed Charles to win because
That's weird.
the way I kid you not, the way he was able to like just take over that car, that beautiful tire management when everyone had their left front tires absolutely gone. Everyone was complaining. Sainz started complaining. Charles managed it beautifully. Hats off. Honestly, hats off to him because like I've never seen something like that in Ferrari, and it's
But
beautiful.
just to kind of point this out, like again, Charles had the advantage of a clean air.
Hmm.
Because again, on one side you are having everyone say, if it's Oscar, if it's Lando, everyone were pushing to their absolute limits, like, and literally it reached a point where if they end up pushing like that much even longer, they will lose the tire easily,
Yeah.
because that amount of graining was there. And for
Oh,
Charles,
you could
again,
see it
charles
in the car.
charles was nearly a second or two slower than Oscar, but again, he managed his pace quite well. He didn't hurt the tires much.
Yeah, I saw a post, or like even the data. Like Charles was doing, his lap. He was doing like 1 minute 23s, and that was
Mhm.
like a constant like lap time that he was putting in, a 1:23.5 or 1:23.6. And he pitted what in lap 14, and then he went on for like 30 plus laps on those same hard tires, and he just maintained that same pace. That itself is something that, well, we have seen from Charles before. I mean, when he has had a good car, he has dominated races. Austria 2022 comes to mind. And though, when it comes to, you just give him a good car, you just give Charles a fast car, he'll go and win a race. That's how good Charles is. That's his caliber, that's his level. But really, I mean, I'm actually very interested to get Vishutri's point of view on this, because as much as Charles had the pace,
Mm-hmm.
you know, McLaren somehow just lost that race. They lost that 1-2, And we'll get to Lando and Oscar, but like still, they had the pace to win the race technically with the practice runs that they've had. What went wrong?
They did, but I feel like lately, when nowadays when McLaren sees a 1-2 up on top, they kind of fumble with their strategy. When you can see it, like you saw it in Hungary. We saw it in Hungary. We're seeing it this weekend as well. The second Oscar does something to overtake Lando, the entire strategy just goes down the drain. They think, okay, I mean, you sent me this one, the newspaper, this article of Zach Brown saying that we have two
Yeah.
drivers, putting them both equally on top. But there should be. I'm not saying there should be a difference. It's not going to be like Max and Daniel or Lewis and George. But if one of your drivers is in contention for a drivers' championship, you put them on top. Fine, they undercut initially. They were able to undercut, and they were able to push Lando up a little bit further, overtake Charles. No one expected Charles to have that one-stop strategy and able to overtake. What they expected was Charles was gonna go in, and then we were gonna have a 1-2. If that were the case, possibly it's gonna be Stella's call. I don't know whether Zach Brown would have made the call of keeping Oscar as P1, but if it was up to Stella, I think they would have been able to swap if Charles had gone in.
Mm, that's true. Um, but then, do you think Charles's move on Norris in lap one made that difference?
I think so. I mean, first of all, he fumbled with Oscar. That
Hmm.
set him back.
Yeah.
That immediately gave Charles way to overtake Lando and push him down to P3. That was not the best to watch. But he had an opening, he took it. Honestly, Charles had a beautiful weekend.
No, see, at the end of the day, McLaren having a 1-2 on pole for after qualifying, and Lando still continues his streak that he cannot keep his lead,
Maintain at
maintain the
least like
lead
at
for
least
at
like
least
this
one
time
lap.
he started, but then maintaining that lead, I don't know, he fumbles all the time. I just see you can easily make it up. Like with that McLaren, he can make it up. We've seen that in Zandvoort, but he needs to be able to try to start properly and maintain that from the beginning. Just imagine, like, first race, safety car. I can tell you that safety car was the reason he won Miami. Zandvoort,
Hmm.
he had a beautiful overtake on Max and he won, but he never started well. I'm hoping and praying that from the next race that if he starts on pole, he needs to maintain that from lap one. That would be beautiful. That would be the best race I've ever seen in my life as a Lando fan.
This is so funny. It's so funny that McLaren and Ferrari have sort of switched roles here,
I
Yeah.
like
know, right?
making bad strategy
You
calls,
know, you
I
know,
don't
keeping
know what's up with
not
them.
keeping pole.
you know what? Now it's reached a point like those heritage teams have actually went on game to kind of realize, oh, we're just doing things because technically Ferrari and McLaren both are heritage teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But again, coming down to the points table, Red Bull and McLaren are now separated by just 8 points,
we're excited about
um,
that.
whereas Norris and Charles are separated by 24 points.
Wow.
McLaren and Ferrari are separated by 29 points, whereas Verstappen and Norris are separated by 62 points. So again, the fight for 1, 2, 3 is going to get even more intense. Again, Red Bull going on the downfall, Ferrari managing to still maintain the pace of race, and McLaren doing what it's still continuing to do what it's still doing. We're going to have a very, very intense fight. I was so excited. I was like, okay, let me try booking tickets to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I was like, okay, fine, let me do this. I checked the website yesterday night. There are only tickets on their hospitality side, which is like 11,000 dirhams for 3 days.
No way.
The reason why Arjun is saying this is so that for you, beloved listener of Formula Pod, if you have a spare 11,000 dirhams for Arjun and also a spare 11,000 dirhams for me, Nathan Bhavi, please contact us.
And if me and
Please.
I are in town, for me and him
Yeah.
as well, we would
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
No,
Just don't give it to them.
and
Just
and
give it to both of us.
I, and again, just for reference, 11,000 dirhams is somewhat nearly $3,000.
Okay,
American
just
dollars?
Yes.
We have a US crowd? Yes, the US crowd. Yes, here we go. $3,000 is pocket change, right? We should ask Lawrence Stroll actually. If Lawrence Stroll if Lawrence
will be
Stroll's
pocket change for Simon Stroll.
yeah.
Well, again, let's since we've got a Brit over here as well, I'm gonna check this in like the British pound as well.
Divided by 5, Arden.
Yeah, that's gonna be £2,287.
That's a
There you go.
property for a month. That's a 2 bedroom property for a month in the UK.
No. Correction, not in the UK, in London.
Arjun, just imagine with that one ticket, I can not even ticket, that one weekend stay, I can live plush in Zone 1 in London.
No, but
Zone
then,
1.
but again, I was like, okay, if not Abu Dhabi, why not Qatar? Because Qatar is the second last race and it hosts the sprint. And that can also do a
Mm.
lot of changes. I
I
again
mean,
checked. So all those main grandstand, everything is booked out, and now the ticket over there is a minimum of 1,500 dirhams, which is bearable.
Hey,
1,500 is
not
Arjun!
bad.
bearable. It's just say for us, it's just flying for 40 minutes to Qatar and managing ours to find ourselves like accommodation and getting the business done.
How long does it take to drive to Qatar?
8 hours.
Can be done. I
It can be
mean,
done
That'll
in eight
be
hours.
that'll be a fun
Sure.
road trip.
Oh no, fuel is again. We're going again. The one good thing about living in the GCC is fuel. It's
Mhm,
not that expensive for us
mhm.
versus you people in the UK.
I'm
That is true.
glad I
If
used
not,
public
if
transport.
not, if not, we will take Nathan's Tesla.
Yeah, and get stranded on the road in Abu Dhabi.
Someone give me something to charge later.
No, Nathan, we'll put solar panels so it
Top of
charges.
car. I'll just carry one, a UPS with me and power like a generator or something along with me, in case my Tesla runs out of charge. But yeah.
I don't remember like charge.
But anyways, coming back to the Italian Grand Prix, we were discussing in detail about the McLaren situation. Papaya rules. Again, new terms are coming out right now. They're like, oh, is it team order? This thing, that thing. Again, I was like, what is this papaya rules?
There's a whole
So
meme
odd.
on it as
I
well
know,
now.
right?
So odd when I heard that papaya
Again,
rules.
again, if you need to do team orders, do it like James Walls. Valtteri, it's James. You need
Yeah.
to do it. You want to do it, just do it that way. Don't do
Oscar,
this.
get out.
Move out of the way.
That's what they need to do. That's actually
Yeah.
what they need to do because it's high time. I mean, McLaren could be right now the sole reason why Lando, doesn't win a championship. As much as Lando has had a good car and he's driven pretty well, it's really sad because Lando put a lot of faith in McLaren. I mean, he was their driver from the start, from their junior series. He came into the ranks of Formula One 2019, and has been their driver ever since. So, I mean, this is like the best time for to
Because like
basically pay back.
these guys are like, especially the F1 TV commentators, Martin Brundle, I mean Sky Sports and F1 TV, right? So Martin Brundle was just like blanket statement. It was like Piastri has no interest in Lando winning the World Championship. And honestly, the way this man fights with Lando and tries to overtake him, I feel like he does not want Lando to win. It seems like it. And another thing, like post race, I tend to watch like the post race, this one like Ruth Bascom and Will Buxton and everything. Will Buxton went off on McLaren
Oh,
for three
yeah.
and a half minutes, just ranting about how Lando deserves better.
Well, again, let me ask this though. So, do you, as a McLaren fan, now feel like, okay, it was not the right decision to bring Oscar Piastri into the team?
Oscar's too competitive. I mean, we love competitiveness, but not that much that spoil their teammates' chance of this one. Reiterating what Will Buxton said in Hungary when Lando was leading, they came on and they said that if you want to win this world championship, you need to have your teammate by your side. It doesn't seem like that's happening. He gave way. It doesn't seem like that seems to be happening. If anything, he's pressuring him more, which would kind of see. I have nothing against Oscar, okay? But if someone is in contention of finally beating Max, I need it to happen.
No, you know what I think is that as far as Oscar is concerned, in Oscar's mind, one is get McLaren to that top constructor and get him still maintain his P3 position on the Drivers' Championship. So, Lando winning the Drivers' Championship is all again. A good amount of times would be out of his mind.
The
Hmm.
thing is, though, see, if it would have been the same, Hungary, it would have been the same number of points that McLaren would have gotten, even if they would have swapped the cars and maintained Lando in P1. They need to think about
P1.
Lando had to this one, right, in Hungary.
Oh yeah, hungry. Yeah.
So if they actually had McLaren in mind, or if they had Lando in mind, if you're just swapping places, the number of points you get for the constructors doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's true.
if you're gonna swap places, you're still gonna get the same number of points in the constructors championship. It's just that you're the second driver, the driver that's not in contention for the drivers championship, will be down. But at the end of the day, if Oscar's actually thinking about the team and not him as a driver, he should not be fighting Lando every time. Like, fine, okay, you can race each other, but there's a limit to how much you can race each other. As a
Hmm.
See
driver, as a
again,
team, you guys need to work together to actually get that. You mess up one tiny thing, Arjun. That lap one, Oscar overtaking Lando, it could have gone bad in so many ways.
it went bad for my team.
Exactly.
My guy was
It
running with broken wing.
exactly. That's the thing. It doesn't affect just them, it affects others, and it could have gone horribly for all the drivers involved.
No, again, if things were not that great for McLaren, it was going to be a problem for McLaren. Ferrari driver somehow will manage to escape out of it.
Of
I
course.
I
And
just
probably we would have had a 1-2 in Ferrari.
oh, Carlos. He would have, that was
Yeah.
such a good birthday gift.
And
Yeah.
like 1-2 in Ferrari, and plus the gap between Ferrari and McLaren will be even more shorter.
Nathan, watch out.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I mean,
like how Nathan is like I like how Nathan is like, yeah.
yeah. No, it's funny because, I mentioned this last podcast. I remember this clearly because I went on about, Charles and Fred saying, telling the media that they are mathematically still in the championship. And I said that if they need to be in the championship, they need to start winning races. Well, they've already won once. They've already won Monza.
They heard you, Nathan.
So
They heard you.
I know. So if they can keep this up, then maybe it's a possibility. But we've seen this story before. We've seen Monaco. We've seen the pace in Monaco, and I was so happy. And then the next race was what was the next race, Arjun? What was the next race after Monaco? Was it Canada? Was it Canada? Yeah, it was Canada, wasn't it?
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god! Literally bringing me back down to earth. That was how the Canadian Grand Prix was, literally.
Just carried it.
So so I am not at all expecting anything. I'm
For
just
Baku.
for
Ah,
Baku. Yeah.
but you know what though, Nathan? I mean, you're kind of right because what Charles said post race interview was that the changes that they've made for like Monza is mostly specific to the Monza track.
Yeah.
So just like you, he doesn't expect anything to for Baku.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. They could also be very safe
Mm-hmm.
about, not revealing much to their
Yeah.
competition as
Mm-hmm.
well. Because it's new management. It's Fred Vasseur. We have never seen him in this position before. I mean, we have, but like he's not had like a great car. But let's see. let's see how it goes. And
Yeah.
it's really funny because another stat that I want to mention, because well I want to, is Charles has won the Italian Grand Prix for the second time, and that's the most a Ferrari driver has done since Michael Schumacher. So
Yeah.
yeah, as much as you want to slander Charles and you say, oh, Carlos is a better driver, he should have kept the Ferrari seat, Charles is the weaker driver here. I mean, I'm sorry,
They're both
those
beautiful Ferrari drivers.
yeah, those claims are just,
Baseless.
if you're saying that you're not a Ferrari fan, so just please be quiet. I'm sorry.
Coming back and then keeping McLaren's own papaya rules on the sides, I want to talk about Williams.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting team, to be very honest. And like, it's been pretty amazing from them in terms of the development cycle which they have come into, because we got to know Williams as that one team which is basically uh like a bit too overweight in terms of its car, you know, and then right now it's improved.
I mean,
Yeah.
they had a really good car this weekend, and both drivers actually did it justice. With Albon getting points and Colapinto doing very well for his first F1 race.
Yeah, massive shout out to Carlo Pinto. But Williams always turn up in Monza. It's like they basically created that car for that track. They always turn up. And Albon finishing in the points is like, yeah, that's the standard. But I can't wait to see what Carlos can do in that Williams. If
Yeah.
Albon can finish in the points, Williams getting double points in Monza next year,
Oh,
that's going to be
Thomas
really nice
has
to
the
see.
potential to do that. If they give them a good car next year, that's it.
Yeah.
They can go back to the 90s.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the field is very close,
Exactly.
and with 2026 coming up, development won't. They'll stop development by like half by mid season, most probably in 2025, so that they can all focus on 2026. So
Hmm.
hopefully, fingers crossed, we see all the cars closer than ever before. And the last time that's ever happened, well, we got a really good title fight with Max and Hamilton. So you never know.
Definitely, definitely. But then again, Williams' car, like normally itself has a characteristic that it'll just slide through quite well on those
Yeah.
straights.
Hmm.
And again, that car, the Alex Albon extracted whatever he could get out of it, got himself in 2 points. So he got 2 points, finishing P9. Frank, again, I'll say, even though during qualifying he had his own moments, he managed. The one big difference between him and Logan Sargent is that Sargent, the minute he gets to the gravel, he'll just hit that car.
Yeah.
Colin Pinto made it a point. He wants to save that car as much as possible.
Knowing full well that that boy might not have a seat
Like
in the team next year, he's just.
like that guy literally just again the car, he would have beached the car, but then it's just that he managed to pull out a stellar job of just getting that car out of that gravel trap.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually mentioned about Logan, I will say the same thing for Colapinto as well. Logan, once Charles was announced, sorry, once Charles, once Carlos was announced as the other driver for Williams, he had nothing to lose. He should have given it his all. He gave a little too much, was his problem. But at least he should have been able
He was
to
giving too much.
too much
No,
that he too much that he
Yeah.
crashed.
Yeah. He gave too much in the wrong session. He did it in free practice, not in the
Oh,
race. Yeah.
and
uh,
a little too much that he went off in the actual race.
probably James Wow should have been like, Logan, it's James.
but but Franco, on the other hand, he this, just like Logan right now, this boy has nothing to lose.
Hmm.
He
Yeah. I
knows
mean,
that
he
he's not going
doesn't
to go Williams' seat next year. He knows,
exactly.
so he has to give it his all, and he is. He genuinely is. I mean, P12 for him for his first F1 race. He's done it. He's an absolute pain, and he was able, like, you could see post race when the interviews are coming in, he was in so much pain. You got the same reaction from Ollie after Saudi. You know, to be
Yep.
able to just jump into an F1 car after riding an F2 car for a really long time, it'll take a toll on you. But the way he was able to manage that, my God, he
Hmm.
was
Best.
really good for his first race. Give it a couple of races, I feel like he'll get some points for them as well. I feel like he'll get some points.
If the car is good, hopefully. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but
Like,
yeah, but then at the same time, you can't really. Yeah, I mean, yes, it was a really good first race, but then Italy is like a very easy track. It's actually
So
kind
it's a
of like
lot
the
of straight. Yeah.
best track for Franco to get used to a Formula One car.
Yeah.
That was literally like his best track to get used to the car, and it was like a
Exactly.
test run for him. So he
The
did well. He did well for his test.
Exactly.
So
The F1 drivers, F2 drivers know how the track is. They've raced the track. They know how it is. Kimi was able to fly by because he knew. I mean, I know he crashed in the first 10 minutes, but
no, but
you know,
again, that's not just Kimi. Like a good amount of drivers, again, through that parabolica itself, ended up beating the car.
we need to talk about Kimi.
We need to, before that, I have to, we need to even talk about the other Kimi. Even though Kimi Antonelli was the subject, the Italian Grand Prix was taken by storm by none other than Kimi Raikkonen, or
Yeah, we
Iceman.
loved it. We loved it.
yeah, Iceman in the kick Sauber, he's in the wrong garage. He should have
No,
come
no,
to
no.
the red
He
one.
basically went to meet his ex-boss, Mattia Benotto.
Of course.
Oh,
And
Is
then
he
over
making a
there,
comeback?
no, and
Is
then
he making a comeback?
Kimi?
uh,
I,
his son is on course to joining Formula One. Like he's already started his karting days and stuff already, in a
Yeah,
very good progress though. Like his dad is leading him to it. But
Michael and Mick.
again, I was just seeing this. It was Kimi Stefano Domenicali. So the CEO of F1, Stefano Domenicali, once was a Ferrari team principal, and he was team principal while Kimi was the driver, and Mattia at that time was the chief engineer for Ferrari.
Ah,
So
that's good.
it was a reunion for them, more over than just Kimi just coming in.
That's nice.
yeah,
And Sauber was anyways Kimi's old team, the last race which he did
that
with
is
Sauber.
true.
So he's like, okay, I've got every right to come here.
That is true. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, like keeping Raikkonen aside, I mean, the F2 drivers really showed up this weekend, right? I mean, it was so funny. We had Kimi Antonelli in FP1. Oh man, that lap that
Yes.
he put,
Oh,
I wish he completed it because I'm telling you that I told you, Arjun, that lap was at that point of time really quick,
yeah.
unbelievably quick.
Seeing the onboard itself, I felt the speed.
What his
Honestly,
time in the end was, his speed, if he would have completed that lap, was the fastest compared to, I think, no, no, no. Okay, okay, I'm confusing it. But it was the fastest, we would have been on top and not like gone down. No one would have been like, very few people would have been able to overtake him. Mm, what, so Kimmy, what I read, he was doing so fast, he was going so fast that if he would have put in that lap, very few drivers would have been able to overtake him. And
hmm.
what it did was, at one point, Kimmy's slowest lap was Max's fastest.
Again, let's not talk about Red Bull over here because Red Bull was in another territory of its own. It was not in the
They,
territory which actually it was supposed to run in the first place.
they're qualifying and their race. They were
You're
nowhere on
telling
top.
you're telling qualifying that DRS flap. What the hell was that? It looked like though these people tore some pieces of paper and then they're like, oh, you know what? Let's use this to get more downforce.
Oh my god.
They took two bites out of the rear wing. I don't know why that's the case. I think they lost all their aerodynamic sensibility once Newey left. Really, honestly.
But again, it reached a point where Max is like, you need to change the whole car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
post race he was like, the entire, what changes need to be made to the car? It's like, everything. The entire car needs to be changed.
And again, that guy
yeah.
has got a lot of power units which is already in, so he would not want to go get like another penalty his way.
Yeah, that's true.
And he said in the race he was struggling with an engine issue as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if that is a persistent issue and he has to, make a replacement, then he's going to get another grid penalty, which is not going to help him. because
Mm.
that car does not have the pace to fight through the field and win races anymore. So he cannot just take a 10 place grid penalty and then do like a last to first challenge
But
because the pace is not there.
Yeah.
Red Bull actually is now counting on Checo Perez for Azerbaijan because Checo's specialty is street circuits.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
So if so again, this is also something which I saw on Twitter, which said on Checo maintaining to retain a seat. If Checo manages to get some good results out of Baku and Singapore, but again, Singapore is a long shot because the car itself is in. Why when it was dominating itself, it was really bad in Singapore.
I mean,
But
Checo was good in Saudi. Who
again,
knows?
but see, you don't compare Saudi right now because Saudi was basically the second race.
Mm-hmm.
We have probably cars did like 3 to 4 upgrades by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So McLaren itself by the fourth race you ended up. So it's not that. So again, it's not like Red Bull can hold that forever.
Yeah, that's true. That makes
And
sense.
again, this is something again which Christian Horner I remember said on Drive to Survive. You can dominate, but there is a time limit for that dominance.
That's true.
Hmm.
Horner said it himself. Oh well.
And he said it when my good nice lads were leading the championships.
Oh,
But
how
you
the
know, but
times
you
have
know,
changed, huh?
to be very honest, being still being a Mercedes fan, I really wanted to see a Ferrari win the constructors championship.
Wow, look, everyone's a fan now. What?
No,
Oh my
you still
goodness.
have me. Don't worry, don't worry. You still have me. It's just that one moment of little feeling. I need a chance.
Ah, right. Sure,
Comes and
sure.
goes.
But
Comes and goes.
there is one thing I did want to mention about this whole Red Bull situation. You know that they've had this monster of a car that they keep talking about in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
media. Perez comes out in the media pen and says that Verstappen is now in the same boat as him that he was in for the last 10 races. So now Max knows how I feel like. But my guy still finishes 17 seconds behind Max. So I'm sorry. I don't know what boat he is on. I don't know what boat Perez is on. Perez is literally in the Indian Ocean and Max is Pacific. I mean, I don't know. They're in
Fine.
completely
Oh
different
God.
places. It's just so funny that Perez has to come out and say that. But then, yeah, Red Bull are really in a bad situation, and they will lose the constructors championship definitely because 8 points is the gap, and I believe if Ferrari managed to maintain the pace and maybe consistently get at least one driver on the podium, maybe Ferrari could finish second
No, see,
and overtake Red Bull.
at this stage, if one of the McLaren drivers just managed to get 8 points, which is basically P6 or P7, they win it. Like
Yeah, that's considering
how
Red Bull don't, you know,
okay,
don't.
let's say at least they manage to finish a P5 and Red Bull manages to finish between like on a P6 or something, then it's a very easy chance. And again, both drivers anyways will be on the top 10.
Yeah,
It's not like Checo Perez where Checo Perez ends up in P11 and not get a point. Um, so again, that
that
is
can happen.
that
That,
can happen. That can happen
yeah,
because again, if you're calculating Red Bull and Ferrari, the gap again comes down to uh, 30. Sorry, 40 points. About 40 points.
Not. That's not far at
39.
all.
That's not far. That's absolutely not far.
That's what McLaren and Red Bull were last race.
See, but then again, if we need to have a 1-2, then only Ferrari can close the gap.
Ferrari,
Ferrari
you're
is
welcome.
closing. I'm not saying it's not
Join,
closing. It is
join, join the
closing
gang.
as
I
long
mean,
as they have podiums.
yeah,
Ferrari is in good state
They can.
because
It's possible.
technically Mercedes is out of question now
Yeah.
because Mercedes
which is
too,
sad.
which is, but again, we have to accept reality.
Yeah, it's a shame because before the summer break they were looking like the team to watch out for, like, the dark horses in the championship. And I was really looking forward to seeing, Hamilton race Lando and Oscar and Max back again, but then it's not the case, and it's very disappointing.
I actually thought seeing the quality performances and the free practice, some of the free practice sessions, Lewis will get pole. Like he was putting laps of that sorts,
True.
He
Yeah.
was dominating.
and
I
literally
never
like,
expected
and
that.
literally he was the one who was setting the benchmark times for everyone to reach.
Yeah.
Sorry, Monza in one way, like the lap record is 1:24.86, which is set by Rubens Barrichello. I was seeing this guy go, Lewis going on 1:24.37. I was like, damn, he crossed Barrichello's record. And then again, then on top of that, Lando going on a 1:19. And Lewis kind of again supersede that with another set of time sets, which again was amazing. But then
Yeah.
again, I think teams didn't expect the degradation.
No one
Yeah.
expected the heat there in Monza. It was hot. No one expected the tire degradation to be that much.
And also the new tire, the track surface also must have played a big role as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah.
And it basically caught everyone off guard. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow Ferrari, they they somehow managed it. There is this meme, if you guys have seen The Office, of Michael Scott and his old manager,
Yeah.
the photo of both of
Yeah.
them shaking hands. So there
Mhm.
was this meme where the Tifosi praising the Ferrari, strategists. That's on one hand, but then Ferrari, you never know. I mean, as a Ferrari fan, I have to expect, I literally have to brace myself, because literally when I was watching that race, they pitted on lap 14, and I was so annoyed that they didn't call Charles in, because Lando and Oscar made their pit stops. And I was worried, okay, you know what? They're gonna take out 1.5 seconds out of Charles's lap time, and
Mm-hmm.
catch up to him by the end of lap 50 or lap 51. But then that was not the case. uh the McLarens, just the tires just basically degraded really,
Oh,
really
it was
fast.
bad. It was really bad.
Yeah. But again, I just feel like to a certain extent, it was not for that track. Knowing that track, a driver with skill would just be like, okay, let's not kill the tires.
Yeah.
That was the strategy to go with. But again, both the McLaren drivers didn't even think about that. I assume
I don't think so. I just think they just needed to go
they were
raw. It
just
was just raw speed from their side.
no. I feel like they were just fighting each other at this stage.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you don't get it.
Vishiti,
You don't get it. You don't get it."
yeah, I want to ask you this. Like, obviously now we have heard the term papaya rules.
Mm.
But like, I want to know what is your, what do you want personally, the term papaya rules to mean for you?
For me, I just see. I would love good racing, but not where the whole issue of like I don't want them like at each other's throats. You know,
Hmm.
like I said before, there should be a limit to how much they can actually race each other. Fine, race. That's what we're here for. But keep it as a limit, at least as teammates. Just it's gonna end up like Max and Checo a couple years back in Brazil, where he didn't give the points and he lost
Yeah.
out the championship. It might happen again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's happened once in Hungary. Who knows what the consequences of that would be?
Yeah, and I also personally think that, I mean, that move by Oscar in lap 1 was unbelievable. As a
Oh,
neutral, going around the outside in turn, I don't know, turn 3, turn 4, I don't know what
and
turn
four,
that
yeah.
is. That was just simply beautiful. I'm trying to replicate that in the F1 game. It's so hard. It really is very hard, because the easiest thing to do is just to go through the inside, but then Lando was
Yeah.
covering the inside and Oscar making the move on the outside. It kind of told me two things, and I want to get your opinion on this as well, because I feel like maybe, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is papaya rules, but Lando was taking it very, very safe. I mean, you have a Lewis Hamilton or a Max Verstappen in that McLaren car instead of Lando, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel like, because
What?
with Max you would have seen some sort of contact. With Lewis, you would have seen more aggression, and
Yeah,
you would have seen him braking really late and maybe going over that curb of turn four and maybe just cutting the chicane. We would have seen something, but then Lando was taking it really safe. Now, is that because he already had an he already witnessed something like this in Austria, where he got punted off track and he didn't want to take that risk because in the last time that happened, he retired the car.
yeah,
Like, he got a puncture and he really didn't want to get into that again.
I
But I'm
think
telling you, with the pace that Oscar has and Lando has, I think that contact is bound to happen at some point.
exactly. I feel like that is a scenario because I mean, like I said, they're at each other's throats, and that's not what we need for a team to get like top to go to the top in the constructors championship. There needs to be a proper balance between both drivers. There needs to be an understanding between them. Lando obviously like pulled back because he's seen what fighting back can do, and he wants to keep it safe. He wants to be in contention so that he can bring points not just for the team but for himself as well because he's
Yeah.
fighting for both. So he needs to keep it safe to an extent. But if Oscar keeps pushing, it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to end up like that. Someone is bound to crash and it's not going to be good. McLaren can easily go down the same way they come back, they go back up. And that's not, as a McLaren fan, that's not what I want. I need the team to do well and I need the driver who's leading to do well as best as he possibly can. And constructors, they work fine, they get in the points. But for the leading driver to be able to get enough points to actually fight and hopefully possibly win the championship, he needs the help of the other driver. He's taken that back from Hungary. He knows what he needs. He's trying to rely on Oscar. Oscar's not doing the same. Oscar's not giving that to him. He's not giving Lando the chance to rely on him. He keeps fighting, he keeps pushing. For him, at the end of the day, Oscar wants to win. He wants to get points. He was not happy with the P2. Post race, you could see he was not happy with the P2.
Yeah,
He was
because they
off by.
expected to win the race. Because
They
they really
expected to win the
expected to win the
race.
race.
They expected to win the race, but Oscar repeatedly saying, "I don't expect Charles to do that. I do not expect Charles to do that. I do not expect Ferrari to pull a one-stop strategy." It was in the back of his mind. He was like, "I could have won the race, but anything could have happened if they would have. If Charles would have gone out, if he would have gone into the pit stops, and Oscar would have overtaken." There was something that probably pushed Oscar to keep saying all over media, it was not the way we wanted. This could have gone better for us. This could have got. He might have had that mentality that he was going to win. After Hungary, he knows that they're equal. Lando's second in the Drivers' Championship, but in Zach Brown's eyes, they both are equal.
Because that
There's
is the
no,
way how McLaren operates.
there's no a little chance, extra chance for Lando just because he's about 64 points behind Max.
No,
At the end
but
of the
Vish,
day,
just to kind of interject over here, it's just that when Lewis joined Mercedes and he
Mhm.
was with Nico, Lewis and Nico were really good friends. But then
Yeah,
on track, they were pure enemies. And and again, I am basically seeing the same thing repeated over here.
it is
Two
the
young,
same with
two
these
young
two.
drivers who are in their prime, just fighting for the win. And again, teams, the team principal or the CEO is just being like, okay, let they fight because they want to see some racing action that way.
We know how Lewis and Nico ended up.
Again, that is, I am not going to be surprised if Oscar
Do
and Lando
we
end up crashing to each other.
do we really need that? Do we? But
No, if that I'm saying if that happens, then it's a different story.
it's leading there. It's going there. It's not like I said,
Because probably you may end up seeing the extent of it even next year.
God,
Yeah,
they're still
that
racing each other.
that's that is
Exactly, because they're
absolutely
still
true.
they're still drivers. Like they're still paired together next year as well. It could go bad.
But Arjun, you saying that, both the McLaren drivers being in their prime, Oscar is just in his second season. I mean, that's
No, no,
so
Exactly.
I'm saying in
that's
terms of their age.
yeah, but still, I mean, Oscar is pretty young. But at the same time, in terms of his experience in Formula One, it's unbelievable that we think that he's in his prime. It's just his second season.
Second season, he was a rookie
That
last year.
is,
And
Well, let's compare with another rookie. Let's say I'm going to compare with Lewis. As I say, I compare apples with apples. So if you compare with Lewis, Lewis in his second season, he managed to get a good couple of wins with that McLaren car. I see the same sort of talent with Oscar. Lando Norris is more
yeah,
like Nico Rosberg at this stage.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, you're not
that's a
wrong.
harsh truth.
Because again, Oscar for a good amount of time he was benched that he could not race, and then after that, when he was given the time to race, he's like, you know what, goodbye Alpine, I'm going to McLaren, and then over there now he's fighting. Last year they didn't have a great car. This year now they're having a better car, which can basically win races. So altogether, it's just like it's different. But again, with Lando having his own set of experience, because Lando has been racing only in McLaren,
Yeah,
unlike Oscar, who drove a Alpine car and then came into McLaren. That's a different story.
true.
So again, it's something which, if we start talking, then I would need like a full episode about it. But
Maybe, you know
again,
what? You know what? Maybe if by the end of the season, if Ferrari do well, maybe Vishruti should do the McLaren meltdown. Maybe Ferrari doesn't need a meltdown episode, you know?
Nathan Bobby. Do.
but
I'm
again,
just saying.
uh,
I'm just saying with the way things are
let's
going.
let's kind
What?
of go back to the race. Kevin Magnussen officially cannot race for the next race thanks to his penalty points. This time he got two penalty points because he just got in contact with Pierre Gasly. And again,
Yeah.
it's not like a massive contact or something. It was just a touch and go kind of a situation.
Poor guy locked his tires up and just hit Gasly. That's so sad that
And
he got.
literally, Kevin was like, when Daniel and Hulkenberg, when they had contact, Daniel was just given a 10-second penalty. He wasn't given anything further to that. He's like, if I
That is
get that
true.
time penalty, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
But
that is
you
true.
end up getting a race ban, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since we've had a race band, right?
It's
Do
been,
you
I don't
guys?
know, I feel
I don't
Kevin
remember
Magnussen
seeing a
is
race ban ever. Like,
like
and I've been seeing for like 3 years, and I don't think I've not
in
known.
the hybrid era, Kevin Magnussen is the first driver to get the race ban.
Let
Hmm.
me guess. The driver before was Pastor Maldonado.
I believe.
It has to be because that guy was crazy. That guy was crazy when it came to races. I mean, he's literally like a meme in the Formula One community because of his, unbelievable uh, overtakes and passes on track. I don't know. Maybe it could be
Well,
someone else.
we have. Oh wait, we have the last race ban was for Romain Grosjean,
Wow.
Oh.
2012 Belgian Grand Prix, when he was driving for Lotus.
Huh.
Oh, was it the race where he
He
crashed into
Lewis and
Alonso
Lewis.
Lewis? Yeah, that makes sense. That was such a bad
Like
crash
again, he
into
moved
turn one.
inside Lassor, squeezing Lewis tightly between himself and the pit wall onto the grass.
Yeah. But
So
you know what? You know what? Let's coming back to Kevin Magnussen. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, he got a race ban and all of that. He got a 10-second penalty. The guy finished P10. He still scored a point
that is
with
big.
Haas.
That is big.
I mean, I don't know where he started in the race. I'm definitely 100% sure he didn't start in the top 10. From
Mhm.
where he started to somehow make it to P10 and then get a 10-second penalty added on to that and then still finish P10, that is a crazy drive
That
from
was
Kevin
good.
Magnussen.
Hmm.
Kevin Magnussen pulled a Nico Hulkenberg. And Nico
Yeah.
Hulkenberg, unfortunately, because of his contact in lap one in Ascari, I mean, he had a really bad race. But Haas had the pace, to
Again,
Hmm.
to
the
bring it to
Ferrari
Williams.
engine and again lighting up.
Yeah,
You
except for green dustbin Kicksauber. I mean, those guys. I don't.
Oh, I want to put up the green dustbin though.
This
At the time, Valtteri Bottas was the fastest driver.
It,
he was doing well. Yeah, yeah. I think it was
I was like, oh, Matteo Binotto's effects are now evident
they're
like
already
this.
working. That's true.
And then I realized, okay, in the race, both were like not doing that here. I'm like, you know what? Okay, take it back. Matthias still has got work to do. But yeah, Kevin Magnussen started P13. P10 was his teammate Nico Hulkenberg.
Nico,
yeah, yeah.
you know who you need to give it to though? George. Even after that contact, he was still able to make it to P7, which is not bad at all.
I feel like at this stage it's like uh they're both Lewis and George are finishing like a place each other. Last race it was P5, P6. Sorry, P6, P7. This race it's
Mhm.
P5, P6. So it's again
He-
it's a bit different to be very honest.
But
Like again,
let's.
seeing it this way.
But don't lose hope, man. Don't lose hope. As a Ferrari fan, don't lose hope.
Nathan, you know. You
I would
would
know. I have
know.
so much of experience.
Nathan,
So much of
before
experience.
importing
Arjun,
me to Ferrari, just give it some time.
Arjun,
We've got 8 more
look at
races to
the
go.
look at the progress our lovely little Ferrari fan has had. He doesn't even need a rant session now. He's giving it to me.
No, don't
You
worry.
see?
He will again if there is a situation where Ferrari messes up like 3 races in a row or something, then Nathan
We'll
will
get back again,
automatically
Nathan.
activate that out.
I'm like,
It's happened
Arjun, give
before.
it back to me, man.
It's happened before. After Monaco, then came Canada, which was God knows what happened
Yeah, and
that race.
literally he was on the verge of recording that.
So like, I just hope that Baku goes well, and
Baku should go well.
we all have a good time, and there's
Again,
no depression.
traditionally Baku hasn't been a great circuit for McLaren.
And
Back was
Charles
a
has
car
done
like
really
this.
well
Charles has done really
in
well.
yeah.
Nathan, stop.
Except for that I am stupid moment, he has had a really good, good time
I was just thinking
in
that
Baku.
with Frank Colapinto, he should not end up hitting his car into the barrier and like pull another Charles Leclerc over there.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be fun. That would be sad.
I've I've missed Baku. Baku was late this year.
Well, again, it is what do you call Formula One's calendar?
Yeah. What can we do?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hmm.
But it's just that um, I feel to a certain extent they're just trying to reduce this climate impact which they have on like all the races. So it's just they're just trying to reduce that, and that's why Baku has come this late.
Yeah.
And but then the funniest thing is these guys have a triple header, finish the race in Las Vegas, fly down to Qatar,
Oh,
out of all places,
brutal.
which is basically like you are basically in the freezer, and from freezer you're taken into some defrost machine. That is it. That's the
yeah.
case. But
Honestly,
yeah, it's just funny enough with these people telling, "Oh, we have climate impact." How much of a climate impact is there? We need to see. That's a different story.
that's so funny, right? They're traveling so much and they're making all these long trips. Just bring back the V10s. Come on, do it. Just bring back the old engines. I mean, at this point, if they care so much about the environment. I
No, no.
mean,
So this is something which Stephanie Dominicali also mentioned. He's like, if they manage to find something good enough with these sustainable fuels, they will definitely make their way back to those noisy engines.
Ooh,
that's the dream.
But if
that's gonna
that
be
happens, yes, it is of course, it will be amazing. Music to our ears.
Yeah,
that roaring
exactly.
engine.
You just need that engine, and then the cars just to be a bit more smaller, and then Monaco can actually be a good race. Trust me.
Oh,
Yeah. No, again, if F2 can do that quite well right now because the cars are small. They can both
yeah.
cars can
Yeah.
overtake together. Like at least in my mind, whenever someone's saying V10, I remember this video I saw where the car basically in Spa through I forgot the through Audi Rouge, like just kind of passes through in full speed.
Mm,
I like that way, like kind of thing, like that needs to be there.
that noise. It needs to come back because that's the iconic. iconic sound. I mean, whenever I think of the V10 engine, I immediately think of Michael Schumacher. Obviously, as a Ferrari fan, I have to. And then you think of like those, pole position laps, or like those qualifying runs that he does. Those the way the car downshifts and picks up speed, and like the end of a straight, the noise that comes out of that engine is simply lovely, simply lovely.
Yeah, just
I like
just
that little simply lovely. That was, that was fun. Whether that was directed at Max or Lando, I do not know. But that dig was definitely directed at Max in the race.
Maybe it's both.
Would be
well,
fun.
on that terrible disappointment, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and our podcast is available across all your favorite podcast platforms. And yeah, please do support us. We are really desperate for followers, so please follow us on our Instagram
And
page,
tickets.
formula.pod. Because again, I'm serious. No, not kidding. We're desperate for followers. Please follow us. Until next time, this is the entire crew from Formula Pod signing off. And yeah, we're not going to be back next week because next week is still a race break. And I don't know when this episode will go out, but it is what it is. But yeah, we will see you probably right before Baku or straight after Baku. Until
Fun.
then, ciao and goodbye.